Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singapour.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tavwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
And then it's tonight Fiji to head to polls on November 14th. Fiji bids for seat on UN Human Rights Council. And over 300 kilos of grouper confiscated during ban.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
President Major General Chiyochi Kondote will issue the writ for election in Suva tomorrow. Fiji is scheduled to have its second general election under the 2013 Constitution on Wednesday, November 14, 44 days from now. The head of state met with Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama today, where he was advised, according to Section 58 of the Fijian Constitution, to dissolve Parliament. The President has dissolved Parliament exactly 3 years and 6 months from the date of its first meeting in October 2014. Secretary-General to Parliament Viniana Namosi-Malua has elaborated that following the dissolution, all members of Parliament will cease in their positions and there will be no assistant ministers. Ministers, including the Prime Minister, however, will continue in their role. Meanwhile, the issuing of the writ for election will be aired live on FBC TV. A robust constitution and Fiji's rich history of peacekeeping will add value to the United Nations Human Rights Council. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama highlighted this in his national address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York earlier this week. Fiji is bidding for a seat on the UNHR Council for the 2019-2021 term. Maggie Boyle reports.
The election for a seat in the UN Human Rights Council will be held in Geneva, Switzerland next month, and Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama was talking up Fiji's strength.
Was constitutional framework that reaffirms and protects civil and political rights, as well as social, cultural and economic rights.
Lobbying for support, Bainimarama also highlighted Fiji's contributions.
Our value to the Human Rights Council is also underpinned by our long experience in peacekeeping. It was exactly 40 years ago when Fiji first participated in UN peacekeeping.
Here at home, the move to be the first Pacific small island developing state on the Council has been commended.
It will keep Fiji on the path of human rights. It will hold Fiji accountable in terms of its human rights obligations, not only internationally, but also its obligations domestically.
The UNHRC is made up of 47 member states who are elected by the General Assembly by direct and secret ballot. Member states are selected based on their contribution, promotion and protection of human rights within their respective countries. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Fiji lacks specialists across various fields and there's a need to invest in more specialist studies in the country, says Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Qayyum. He highlighted this while speaking at the Christian Mission Fellowship International fundraising dinner in Suva last night, advising parents to encourage their children to pursue other careers and not depend on the in-careers like lawyers, nurses, teachers, etc. Akusita Tale reports.
Speaking to parents at the fundraiser last night, the Attorney General pointed out that Fiji doesn't have a specialist that can carry out open-heart surgeries.
In 21st century Fiji, it is actually quite a tragedy that we don't have a single Fijian doctor that is an open-heart surgeon. And the reason behind this, ladies and gentlemen, has been fundamentally a lack of investment in our education sector and indeed a lack of investment in the medical profession.
He also highlighted that Fiji doesn't have proper trained counselors in schools and the workforce.
Most parents want their children to become accountants and doctors and engineers, what we call the in-careers. But some of us may actually recognize that your child may be very good at listening. Your child may be somebody that has empathy or develops empathy with other people around them. So perhaps that is their calling.
Additionally, the minister says there is no fully qualified Fijian speech therapist in the country.
Some of our children, when they are born, they may have a slight impediment with their speech. If we don't actually intervene at the right time, then they may be able to they may lose their speech forever and grow into adulthood in that way. But if you make the right interventions at the right time with the right qualified people, they'll overcome the problem.
The Attorney General also encouraged parents to advise their children to take advantage of scholarships for local and overseas studies, especially for these fields of work. Said Kayum says this will ensure they have the right people at the right places based on merit, otherwise Fiji will lose its economic momentum. Ako si Tatali, FBC News.
The Ministry of Fisheries confiscated over 300 kilograms of kawakawa and dono fish that were being sold illegally during its ban from June until today. The ban was imposed to protect those species during their spawning period and to notify the public to refrain from buying, selling and eating them. Director for Fisheries Isake Batimbasanga says people caught breaking the ministry's regulations were fined and their stock confiscated. Catherine Krishna reports.
Close to 80% of Fiji's known kawakawa and donu breeding sites have either declined or died out. The fisheries director stated that the confiscated stock have been disposed of or stored in offshore divisional stations.
We are holding some of those in our facilities within our divisional level stations. Like I can tell you, we are holding about 300 kg, sorry. So, but the others we couldn't keep. They had to be buried or burnt to dispose of.
Prior to the ban through the 4FJ movement campaign, over 15,000 Fijians have voluntarily pledged not to harvest and consume these fish species from June this year.
Changes have been seen at the fish market. We're about to go at the afternoon, just to tell them not to shoot cow or salmon poultry to bring, so we don't get arrested just for those two fish.
We lost plenty customers. But once the restaurant, the people that always buy the cow from us, they are not eating. We feel sorry for them when we tell them the cow is on ban.
The breeding season is about to end and the annual ban on harvesting these fish expires tomorrow. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Still to come, Fiji to seek repatriation of confiscated tambua. And we speak to 2018's Businesswoman of the Year. Details after the break.
Bula, neva ngo malakai leloma, ngo ngai nakas ondo magrong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai lambasa, ya ondo talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Gua do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere maluan.
Na vengo fane na tao ngo singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
The Environment Department and the Foreign Affairs Ministry will reach out to other countries in returning any tambua confiscated at their borders. Acting Permanent Secretary for Environment Joshua Wycliffe says tambua are very valuable to the people and believes it is the responsibility of others to return them to Fiji. Savara Tambua reports.
Tambua are not commonly known around the Pacific. However, they are one of 34,000 items covered by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Wycliffe says other countries should repatriate the tambua considering their importance to the Itoke culture.
We will be doing it over the next few months for sure. We will be looking at other countries and requesting to see if we can open up channels of discussion and see if there are any out there that we could have them repatriated. But like I said, we will initiate those discussions.
Meanwhile, Department of Environment Acting Awareness Officer Ivo Josevini says border officers have also undergone training about exporting tambua from Fiji.
Those that work at the border, for them to be aware of what's the process with the permitting system under CITES that we have for the Department of Environment.
According to Wycliffe, only 225 tambua export permits can be issued each year. Last year, New Zealand has repatriated 140 tambua. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Residents in Lautoka can now access free Wi-Fi at Shirley Park through the Walesi hotspot that was launched by Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum yesterday. This means people with smartphones can now sit and enjoy each other's company at the well-known park and get connected and enjoy free and unlimited access to the internet. It says the government is trying to create public spaces around the country for all Fijians to access high-speed internet. Said Qayyum says the government is trying to do this irrespective of how rich or poor people are, no matter where they come from. The Wi-Fi hotspot area would allow people 60 minutes free high-speed internet each day.
But also at the same time, government is working very diligently to ensure that many of the government services will also be made available through internet. And very soon you'll hear a lot more information about that.
At least 74 youths with rheumatic heart disease from around the country celebrated World Heart Day at the Outrigger Fiji Beach Resort. During the celebration, one of the main messages that was conveyed to the youths was never to limit themselves in anything they do. Felipe Naikaso with the story.
Sharing their stories in the hope of inspiring each other as majority of these youths continue their battle with rheumatic heart disease.
I learned that dropping my medication was a bad thing. I could have died. I could have gone through a lot of things like stroke, heart attack, and a lot of other sickness.
The youths were also put into groups to discuss some of the issues they faced in relation to rheumatic heart disease and what could be some of the solutions.
My main message is be strong. And don't ever be ashamed that you have a condition. Don't ever let it undermine whatever you want to be or whatever you want to take part in life.
And today's all about raising that awareness, making sure you share the stories from each and learn from today's experience.
4,000 children in Fiji are currently living with rheumatic heart disease. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Life is a party, and when you're having one, just as important, if not more than your guest list, is the event, how it's planned, styled and managed. In tonight's Successful Fijian, we talk to Kim Beddoes, owner and operator of the company Party and Events Fiji and Fiji Weddings, whose signature management and styling has seen her business flourish less than a decade into its operation. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
The true story, I started my own business, and after the first 4 months, I didn't have any customers.
Setting up your own business isn't easy, yet as the saying goes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
My parents started their own business from scratch, from $200 savings and a second-hand typewriter. And the name of the company was Sun Tours Fiji. It went on to become the biggest inbound operator in Fiji. And so as such, I was born into a family business. So all we talked about at the dinner table was business all the time.
The concept for Beddoes' business was a seed planted by passion from an early age.
I've always loved sound, lights, action, camera. And as a result, I made sure that I traveled the world and I attended major events all over the world. I went to the Sydney Olympics. I went to big events in the UK, in Europe. I went to New York and Vegas.
And with any good venture, there was a need to test it and for Beddoes to gain invaluable experience.
I applied for the job of the South Pacific Games in 2003, which was the largest event ever held in Fiji. For events coordinator, I got the job. It was the best experience of my life. And when I was in that role, I realized the need for an events management company.
Starting with training her house girl as her first staff in 2011, the events business has grown in leaps and bounds.
7 years later, I have 22 staff with offices in Nandi and Suva. We do events all over the country. I think our record was a week in December last year. Just before Christmas, we did 10 events in 48 hours.
With her very first project, an intimate dinner for 20, the scale of events are now much larger.
Last year's Fiji Excellence in Business Awards, that was an 800-guest sit-down formal dinner at the Sheraton. We did the Fiji Excellence in Tourism Awards. That was the tourism industry's gala, evening. That was 600 guests.
And while she's been able to rapidly grow her business, she's done so on her own financial muster.
The one piece of advice my father gave me that has put me in good stead for my business, and that it's all about cash flow. I'm very proud of the fact that as a business I've not received any investment money.
And while she's made a name for herself in the niche market of events, there's even more, would you believe, that she's planning.
So I have several other business plans and they're all waiting in the wings, and I will begin new businesses when the time is right, and I do have plans for that.
Beto's advice being, like all her mentors would say, do what you love and the money will follow.
My most important advice is you've got to want it like nothing else on this planet.
Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Coming up in sports, huge home support shown for winger Suliasi Vunivalu. And the Drua tops the NRC table after 5th round. This and more after the break.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Mariva. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic.
Star winger Suliasi Vunivalu will be the lone Fijian player at the NRL Grand Finale tonight when his Melbourne Storm team takes on the Sydney Roosters in Australia. His supporters back at home in Turek Suva are wishing him luck ahead of the final. Vaishnav Prasad reports.
All eyes will be glued on TV tonight as one of our very own rugby league star, Suliasi Vunivalu, wears the number 2 Melbourne Storm jersey at Sydney's ANZ Stadium.
We had a small party just to show our support for Vunivalu. We wish him all the best and we are looking forward to the game tonight, and Bangasau can't wait to see him playing.
Purple flags and banners will also be the order of the night as his young fans stayed up to put together their message of support for their role model.
We are now preparing for the game tonight, and to Vunivalu, we support you and all the best.
All the best.
Yes, Suli will be playing tonight. All the best.
Vunivalu, who will play alongside rugby league legends Billy Slater and Cameron Smith, has scored 61 tries in a total of 68 appearances. The Storm will meet the Roosters at 9:20 p.m. and you can watch it live on FBC TV. Vaishnav Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fiji Airways Drua side maintains its top place in the National Rugby Championship after its 4th win over New South Wales country by 48-7 at ANZ Stadium in Suva yesterday. The Drua extend its lead to 19 points on the table after 5 matches, while Canberra Vikings sit second with 17 points. The NRC title holders Queensland Country, which has played 1 less game, is in 3rd place with 14 points, while Masivesi Ndakuwanga's Western Force is in 4th place. Canberra Vikings have also secured its 4th win, beating Melbourne Rising 31-21 in the National Rugby Championship match last night. A double Vikings hooker, Connell McKerney, helped the Vikings secure an important win. Fiji-born Sevu Reece scored a try for Waikato as they thumped Southland 42-11 and successfully defended the Rainfurly Shield last night. The result is the Mulos' 5th successive win and keeps them on top of the championship table. Manasa Mataele also scored a try for Taranaki, but they failed to get a win as they were thumped 55-26 by North Harbour. Fiji-born Waisake Nahola scored a try as the All Blacks claimed the Rugby Championship title for the 3rd successive year. The side beat the Argentina 35-17 in the match today. South Africa continued with their fine recent form when they beat Australia 23-12 in a Rugby Championship test in Port Elizabeth this morning. The Springboks led 20-12 at the interval. Port Authority was crowned the men's champion, while Fiji Airports was crowned the women's champion at the Nandi International Volleyball Tournament yesterday. This year was different to previous years, as more than 200 teams showed interest to be part of the annual meet. Vaishnav Prasad reports.
A total of 240 teams in the men's and women's category came together at Mount St. Mary's ground yesterday to battle for top spot. Water Authority and Fiji Airports went home champions. Organizers say the annual event achieved another milestone as a total of 876 games were played in one day.
It's a record-breaking number of 87 organizations and 246 teams. And we have a database of about 2,800 players.
These teams now look forward to another year where they expect more new teams and a much tougher challenge on the court.
To network. This is a great time for us, especially from the Central Division. I hear the teams have flown in from the north, have come in here, and the teams in the west. This is the only time where we can, in one day, come together and play and really mingle.
Meanwhile, Prouds 2 won the international men's grade, while FRCS Nandi claimed the mixed grade. Vaishnav Prasad, FBC Sports.
A trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain continues to affect the northern parts of the country. Meanwhile, a high pressure system to the south of Fiji directs a fresh to strong east to southeast wind flow over the group. Taking a look in the west, not much change from yesterday as cloudy conditions prevailed today. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, similar cool, windy and cloudy conditions felt in the Central Division. And up north, another cold Sunday, some showers in store. At sea, east to southeast winds 20 to 30 knots, rough to very rough seas and moderate southerly swells. Now for the tides, high tide will be at 9:20 p.m. with low tide at 4 p.m. Sunrise will be at 5:49. For tomorrow, not much good news as the wet weather will continue in most parts of the country. And looking further on to Tuesday, occasional showers, heavy at times, and possible thunderstorms. Recapping the main stories, Fiji to head to polls on November 14th. Fiji bids for seat on UN Human Rights Council. And over 300 kilos of grouper confiscated during ban. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we're asking, are you aware of your voting centres for the upcoming election? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us for our Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. Until next time, good night.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.